In this video, what I want to do is take some simple logarithmic and exponential functions and show you some basic skills that you may have missed since we do them in different sections as we go through. So let's begin with these three equations. And the first thing I need you to notice is that in some ways these are very similar equations. Let's talk about the ways in which they're similar. First of all, each of them has an x in the exponent. And so if we're going to end up with a line at the bottom that says x is equal to something, then we need to be able to get that x out of the exponent. Now it happens that I made each of these also be equal to 22 just so that you could understand what it is we're doing here. So what I want you to see now is the step we're going to do next is we're going to get the x out of the exponent so that you can end up with a line that says x is equal to something at the bottom. The step for doing that, when you have an x in the exponent, is that you need to take a log. When you take a log of one side, you need to take a log of the other side. The same way that you would tell me to add something to both sides or subtract something from both sides of an equation. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a log and we're going to use whatever the base is of this exponent right here as the base of the log. So to know what kind of log you're going to take, you need to know the base of the exponent right here. So since this one has an x in the exponent and its base is 10, I'm going to take a base 10 log of both sides. Notice I wrote log base 10 of whatever was on the left side and log base 10 of whatever was on the right hand side. Now instead of finishing this problem, I'm going to go across to the next problem because I need you to make this connection. The next thing I'm going to do is on this problem I would take a log base 5 of both sides, and I do that because the base right here is a 5. So once again I will take a log of both sides, and this time it will be a log base 5. Now let's go to the third example, because I can tell you verbally what it is I want to do here. I want to take a log base e. But hopefully by now you have picked up on the fact that log base e can be written a special way. Instead of writing an log with a base of e, this one occurs so much that it has a special way of writing it. And it's an ln of e to the x power. I need you to understand, you don't see it written, but you can think of it as if there is a little e right there. You don't have to write it. As a matter of fact, you probably shouldn't write it. But if it helps you think through this process, that's exactly what you have. So I have taken three equations which started out looking very similar, and now what I have done is I have done the first step of solving each of them by taking a log of both sides. A log base 10 for the first one, base 5 for the second one, and base e for the third one. Now let's see what happens in the next line. When this base matches this base, you get the exponent. When this base matches this base, you're going to get the exponent. And when this base matches this base, you're going to get the exponent. So in each of these, the left-hand side is going to be an x. Let's talk about how you solve for the right-hand side. Well, log base 10 of 22 is just a number, and it happens to be a number that I can calculate easily using my calculator. So grab your calculator, do an log of 22. Remember, logs are always understood to be base 10 on your calculator. So for this one, x is approximately equal to 1.34242. Now let's look at the next one. This time, this base matches this base, so the left-hand side will be x, but the right-hand side, notice this is not a base 10, so I'll need to use the change of base formula. So what I'll get on the right-hand side is log of 22 divided by log of 5, and all I'm doing there is applying the change of base formula. So this line is x is equal to log of 22 divided by log of 5. Remember, both of these are going to be base 10s, so I can now do these on my calculator. When I do that, I get x is approximately equal to 1.92057. Make sure you follow me through on those steps so that you can see that that's what you would get as well. Then on the next problem, what you have is, once again, this base matches this base, so you're going to get x on the left-hand side, And the ln of 22 is something I can do easily on my calculator, and I get 3.09104. And I just wanted to show you the very basics in a nutshell of how to do these three problems. I now want to take you to three more problems, and we're going to go through a similar step. Let's go with these three. What you should notice this time is that in all three problems you see the word log. Now I want to remind you, you don't see it written here, and you shouldn't, but this is a base 10 log, and this is a base E log, a natural log. So now let's talk about the steps we should go through to solve these three equations. When you see the word log, you will never tell me to take a log. Instead, you have to undo that. And the process for undoing that is we're going to exponentiate, which means I need a base. I'm going to use on both sides here whatever this base is. For this one, it would be 5's on both sides, and for this one, it would be e's on both sides. And literally, if I am solving this equation, I write exactly the line you see right now first. Then I would say, whatever's on the left-hand side, right here, that whole thing becomes the exponent here. Whatever's on this side becomes the exponent here. The left-hand side here becomes the exponent for the left-hand side, and this becomes the exponent for the right-hand side. And one last time, this becomes the exponent on the left-hand side, and this becomes the exponent on the right-hand side. You're going to hear me say exactly the same words you heard on the last screen, which was this. When this base matches this base, you get this. So in this case, it's going to be x is equal to 10 to the third power happens to be 1,000, so we're done with that one. Let's look at the next one. This base matches this base, so I get this. So this one's going to be x is equal to 5 to the third power, which is x is equal to 125. And one last time, this base is equal to this base, so I'm going to get x is equal to e to the third power. Use the e key on your calculator and you're going to get x is approximately equal to 20.08554. I'm hoping that this will help you in some way be able to tie together all those skills we've talked about for logs and exponentials and solving equations. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.